confidence comes from not necessarily knowing it all, like we've said, but just having faith and actually taking action so many times where it feels like, okay, I can do this now. I don't actually feel like I'm totally unknown to what it is that I have to do, but it's really putting in the work, figuring out who you are, like we've said, and like taking the action and meeting people and just become second nature. Sometimes I'm still like, wow, I can't believe I started a business. I never thought of myself as an entrepreneur before. And I just did it. And I pull in so many resources. I have so many support systems in my life. I have coaches, I have podcasts I listen to, I have books. I know what my limiting beliefs are, and I know when they're being triggered. Like I know when I catch myself now. And all of that is what creates confidence. It's not just having more money in the bank or selling more, right? It's all of the things. And it's like creating a confidence ecosystem for yourself so that you can really get after your goals and make it happen.
Yeah, I agree. And that's where the mindset piece is really so fundamental to anyone in business who wants to just remain grounded and feel good about what they're doing. Because we take on the kind of emotions of others, and we take on the energy of others, and we really align ourselves to what we see around us. And they say that you're like the people you spend the most time with. And I think there's a lot of truth to that, because you start to kind of absorb their thought processes and how they make decisions and what matters to them. And you start questioning things a bit more, and just wondering, like, is there more than what I see right now? And I think that's really important, to allow that adaptability, but to recognize that you're kind of nurturing that every day, that everything you do is feeding into that, either in a positive way or a negative way. And if you're spending all your time with people who don't have businesses, you're probably going to feel pretty alone and pretty like, I don't know what I'm doing. Whereas if you talk to other entrepreneurs, you're going to realize like you do know what you're doing, because they are all in the same boat and they're struggling with the same things, succeeding with the same things, questioning the same things. And it then grounds you in who you are.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, you just hit the nail on the head. I think having the right network of people who are doing something very similar to you, who are like minded, is so important when you start a business. Community is, you can't replace it. You have to be in community with someone else who is doing this, or with multiple people in a group, a mastermind, whatever. That's going to elevate you, and that's going to really help you believe that it's possible. When you're just working with people, or you're friends with people who don't necessarily have the same goals or lifestyle, like that's great. We should have a diversity of friends. It doesn't mean you should just be friends with entrepreneurs, but you should definitely find a network of people who are doing what you want to do, because it's going to set you up for success more so than not.
Yeah, because so much of it is believing that it's possible for you to
Yeah.
have it. And how can you believe that if you've never seen it before, or you don't know anyone else who's doing it? It really is that simple. Um, I always have coaches myself, and I always look to other leaders in different industries to see what they're doing and how they're doing it, because it makes me realize what is possible, that I don't have to keep myself in a box, that I can evolve and grow and explore different things that might feel good to me. And it doesn't mean that you're always comparing yourself to others, but you can be inspired by them and you can be influenced by them. And I think it would be very ignorant to say that we're not influenced by them, because how can we not be, when everything we do is kind of, it's affecting us in some way, whether we realize it or not.
Yeah.
And one thing that we've done at Prospology to lean into this community aspect is to really encourage people setting up their writing businesses to talk to other people who are setting up their writing businesses, because it will make you realize that you're not alone in the anxieties that you have, or feeling like you're not good enough, or the imposter syndrome that comes up. And that is huge for kind of eliminating that fear. And two, because you can actually refer work to one another and you can build each other up. You can help each other out and help them, take one step forward to where they're trying to go. And how much more enjoyable is that than seeing somebody as your competition and feeling like you can't share anything because it makes you vulnerable and you'll never have any more opportunities ever again.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you're really pushing an abundance mindset for a lot of your students, right?
Mm.
Because being in scarcity is when we think the pie is finite. I can't, I have competition. If that person gets a client, that means I'm not getting a client. And that's like such a miserable place to live in and operate from. Having an abundance mindset is something that is so important when having your own business too. The pie is not finite, it's infinite. And clients are always coming, and believing in all of that is really what will help you not be so stressed out day to day, and have faith in yourself and believe that it's possible, and expand your belief in what is possible, right? It's kind of just like the foundation for having a business, in my belief.
Yeah, absolutely. And I spend a lot of time now telling the stories of others who have had success starting out, when somebody gets their first meeting with a potential client or their first contract or their first project or something. It's really exciting. And I want people to see that and to celebrate that, because that could be them. Just yesterday, they were someone who hadn't had that opportunity and now they do. So what's to say that that can't be you? And it's something that I've been leaning into more and more, because I think you just need to see it. You need to see it. You need to experience it. You need to know that could happen at any time and be ready for it. And I think a lot of people are afraid to have free time in their schedule, whereas you actually need that to be able to receive things that might come to you, and to be able to be in that place where you're like, well, I have this buffer time because something could come in that I want to jump on, that is super exciting, that I want to say yes to. I think that's a great place to be, and something that I've had to work a lot on myself as well to be able to get to.
Yeah, and I think for those who are transitioning from working full time, and you're like in meetings all day, or you're constantly like just overloaded with work, it's going to feel very strange to be okay with having time in your schedule. So it's also
Mm-hmm.
just like, know that that's normal, and it is a transition into a new way of operating, and it's perfectly fine to feel weird about it. But like you said, it's really important to be able to receive. And remember, this is your business. You don't have to work 40 hours a week if you don't want to. You don't have to do anything, right? It's just going back to your values and knowing, here's why I'm doing this. This time that's open in my calendar is okay, because now I'm spending the time doing this instead, and really nurturing myself, or whatever it is that you're spending that time doing, right? Finding more creativity in your life.
Mm-hmm.
That's what life's all about, right?